Hello and welcome back to Coffee Break Blogging. This is David Risley, and we're going to continue on our journey to creating a fully profitable online business based around blogging. Now, in these episodes that we're talking about right now, we're talking about product creation, because product creation is something that you're going to need to do in order to create a real business and ultimately make the income that you're looking for. And what we're going to be talking about today is something to do with product creation, specifically that we need to start with the offer. But before we jump into that, I want to invite you over to the Blog Monetization Lab, and that's at blogmonetizationlab.com. In fact, you could say that these episodes of Coffee Break Blogging are all brought to you by the Blog Monetization Lab. Really, the Blog Monetization Lab is my primary product to you guys. This is my delivery mechanism of the transformation that I deliver, which is guiding you up to full profitability with a blog-based business. That is what I do. And I do that by way of the Blog Monetization Lab. Now, it's also relevant to all these episodes that we've been doing and the ones that we are doing regarding building the business and also creating the products, because that's all stuff that we talk about inside the Blog Monetization Lab. Now, in fact, I actually am planning out right now a brand new action plan that is going to go out to lab members specifically about product creation to guide people to creating their first product and doing it in the right way. Now, as of the time this recording is happening, and if you listen to this episode very shortly after it comes out, that action plan is not ready yet. I have a lot of action plans on my agenda, and this is one of them. But if you're listening to this episode down the road, there's a good chance it's there right now and waiting for you. And so in order to find out what action plans are available, and if this one is available by the time you listen to this, head on over to blogmonetizationlab.com, check out what we have inside the lab, and see if this is right for you. Okay? Let's jump right into this. Product creation starts with your offer. What most people do when they want to create their product is that they plan out the product. They think it's going to be really cool. They have these dreams in their head, like, oh man, people are going to really dig this, or at least they cross their fingers and hope people are going to dig it. That's a thing for another day about validating your product idea. But anyway, they have this idea, they've got the dream, and then they just simply go and they make it. And that is not what we should be doing, okay? Product creation doesn't start with the product. It starts with the offer. The offer is the thing that you're going to present to outsiders to get them to buy it. Okay, very simple. It would be the thing that you put on the sales page. Okay, that is really where the product creation should begin. It needs to start with the complete package of things that you are going to put on the table and say, this is what I am offering to you today. Well, a lot of times when you go down the road and you see or experience, because most entrepreneurs have, when a product just doesn't sell very well, or when the conversion rates are not where we want them to be, what ends up happening is that entrepreneur many times will start split testing various things. They'll start being like, do I need to have a better headline in there? Maybe I need to split test my price. They'll play around with images. And quite frankly, these are all little things. You know, those are the things that you do when you know you've already got a winner, because you're trying to tweak that conversion rate from 2.5 to 2.6 or something like that. You know, you already know something's converting, and quite frankly, even the number I just gave you in some cases would be a kind of a poor conversion rate, but you get the idea. We're talking about increments here when it comes to that type of split testing. Really, what it comes down to at the beginning is whether anybody likes the offer to begin with. And so instead of worrying about headlines and images and bullet points and even little price testing, we need to bring it down to basics and look at the offer itself. That is the most important thing to test, is the actual offer, not all the little mechanics of copy, okay? The most important factor is the offer itself. And so for that reason, when you're creating a brand new product for your audience, you want to start with the offer. You literally want to start outlining the offer, putting together that offer page before you've actually made the product, okay? Now, so by doing this, you're going to go through a few different things. You ask yourself a few different questions. The first thing is it all starts with putting yourself in the mindset of the people that you're looking to sell to. You want to become your prospect and understand the world from their perspective. Understand what it looks like from their end. It does not matter how excited you are about your product. It does not matter how badly you and all your expertise think they need it. It really comes down to what it looks like from their point of view. And so with that in mind, what would they get excited about? Ask that question. What would the people that you're going to be trying to sell to, what is going to make them excited? What is going to make them look at it and go, wow, this really is what I need right now? Another question that you need to ask is, what would alleviate their doubts? It's absolutely natural for somebody who's looking to potentially buy something from you to doubt you, to wonder if there's risk involved, to wonder if you're really going to fulfill on the things that you're saying, especially when money gets involved. It seems like a lot of people they knee-jerk toward distrust until you prove otherwise. And you need to put that into the offer. You need to go, okay, what is going to alleviate their doubts that I'm serious about what I'm talking about and that I can really deliver? And bullet point those things down, because you're going to have to build that into your offer and the way you present that offer. Another question you need to ask is, what would they feel like they need to get the result? The question here, the key point there that I want you to realize is, what would they feel they need to get the result? Not what you and all of your expertise thinks they need. What do they think they need? And you need to understand that. It's really important to jump into that mindset, because your job when you're making the offer is to make your product match up with what they're looking for. It could be that ultimately you're going to need to take them down a different path than what they were maybe thinking, but you're going to have to meet them on common ground. And so you need to know, what is it that they feel that they need? What is it that they are looking for that would be a solution to that? Now, obviously, a follow-up to that is, what do they really need? I mean, you have to make sure that you're going to deliver the goods and deliver the thing that's going to get them to the result. Now, if your prospect comes into this thinking one thing, but you know through experience that that thing that they think that's going to work is just not going to work, well, you need to educate them on that. And you need to ultimately provide what they really need. And maybe part of your offer is going to be a little bit of education so that they have that aha moment about why the way that they were doing something before is not going to work for them, okay? But you need to have this in mind so that you can present the offer. Now, another important part of the offer is just removing risk from them. So a couple of questions come to mind here. One is, how do you guarantee that they're going to get those results? I've said many times now that ultimately your product is simply a delivery mechanism for some outcome that they want. That's all it is. They're not buying an ebook. They're not buying a bunch of videos or whatever. They're buying a specific result. And your product is just a means to an end for them, okay? And so one of the things that they're going to be looking for is signs of certainty that they're going to get what they want. You know, how can you assure them that they're going to get it? And so put yourself in the mind of the prospect and answer that question. How do you guarantee that they're going to get the results that they want? And then it goes along with that is that, how do you remove risk? That's definitely an important part of an overall offer, is risk removal, because people just, they're naturally, going to be skeptical. That's just the way that it is, especially when you're asking them to buy something. People don't like to part with their money, okay? They're only going to do it when they feel as if the things that they're going to gain is greater than the value of the money that they're going to put out there. And so how do you remove that risk? This is where things like the offer guarantee, that's standard to do a 30 or a 60-day refund policy, but some people really sweeten their offer by going even beyond that. I've seen some offers that basically say, if you don't get such and such a result within some time frame, contact me, we'll give you your money back. So that's a way of giving them a guarantee that not only guarantees they're going to get the results, but also removes risk, because they now have an opportunity to get their money back if they don't get exactly what you're promising. So these are all things that you need to bring to the table and outline, and maybe even sit down and write the sales letter for it before you've actually made the product. Now, I'll end off the episode by answering the obvious question is, why do this first? What many people are going to do is create the product and then come back and they write the offer for it. Here's why. It's because it's the offer that's going to be the front-facing thing, not the product. They don't know what the product looks like until they've already given you money. And so you need to make the product match what they need and what they want, okay? And then once you have that there, you create the product which fulfills it, okay? So by reversing the typical way that you do it, by looking at it in terms of what is going to sell, what is going to get them to buy this, and then you create the product to match what you just said in the offer, then you've got a really good package that's probably going to work, okay? Versus you create the product and then you try to convince everybody why it's so great, okay? That's why. Write the perfect offer which solves all these points that we just talked about, and then you match the offer with the product that actually is going to deliver upon it. You obviously need to fulfill all your promises. You don't want to say anything in your offer that is not going to be true. You want to make sure that the product matches up with the things that you say, okay? And by the way, I'll just end off with this one little point. If you realize that the perfect offer, the thing that's really going to get them massively excited is something that you simply can't deliver, that you just don't have the skills to do it, you could do a couple of things. One is that you partner with somebody or find some way to bring in that skill set or that set of knowledge so that you can complete this offer and make it truly, truly good. Or maybe you've got to pare it down a little bit. Okay, maybe you've got to pare it down a little bit. Sometimes you've got to take the perfect offer and you've got to tweak it and get it down into the neighborhood that you know that you can actually do. But it's always, always important that your product, what you ultimately end up making, matches the promises that you put into the offer. And that offer needs to be written for the purposes of selling the course, not to match something that you've already made and now you're trying to convince people that they want it, okay? That is why product creation starts with your offer. Hopefully that was enlightening and gave you some really keen insight onto the world of product creation. And with that being said, I will see you next time here at Coffee Break Blogging. Talk again soon. Thanks for listening to this episode of Coffee Break Blogging. If you like what you heard here today, we have something awesome we'd love to send you. It's called the Blog Conversion Guide, and it has 9 tweaks you can make to your blog in order to increase your conversion rate to get more opt-ins and sales. As one of our listeners, we'd love to give you access to this guide absolutely free. You can get your copy right now by going to coffeebreakblogging.com. Again, go to coffeebreakblogging.com to get your copy, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to this episode of Coffee Break Blogging. If you like what you heard here today, we have something awesome we'd love to send you. It's called the Blog Conversion Guide, and it has 9 tweaks you can make to your blog in order to increase your conversion rate to get more opt-ins and sales. As one of our listeners, we'd love to give you access to this guide absolutely free. You can get your copy right now by going to coffeebreakblogging.com. Again, go to coffeebreakblogging.com to get your copy, and we'll see you next time.